Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin just fell below its true market mean for the first time in 2.5 years. And the last time this happened, Bitcoin was at $29,000. Now, some traders say we're only halfway to a capitulation. Others say this is the zone of opportunity. And history, well, history is screaming something big. So the real question is the pain just beginning, or is this how generational wealth is made? Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, very interesting times in Bitcoin. Half the market is screaming we are only halfway to capitulation. Things are going much, much lower. The other side screaming, hey, take a look at this. We are at pretty much the moments right before parabolic price explosion. And with gold at least kind of in a standstill or a downside, well, maybe it might be about to happen. Before we get into it, like the video, join us on Twitter with Crypto Love, and of course, subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making videos longer than just about everybody else. Now, today, if we take a look, Bitcoin bear market seasonality below average right now. So based on the reversion to mean, price would go up from here. However, if we take a look, order of magnitude up and down, you can see order of magnitude down could send us to about half of where price is right now, somewhere around $40,000, $50,000 territory. However, it could also send us up to maybe $130,000 territory. That would be the averages. So, what I was saying in the introduction, Bitcoin has fallen below its true market mean for the first time in 2.5 years. This blue line right here is a true market mean. The green line is Bitcoin price. Last time this happened was July 2023. Price was $29,000. Now, what happened after that? Well, price went down a little bit more, probably to about $26,000. But then it took off not long after. This was probably 6 months. Went up to over $75,000. Could we see the same type of movement this time? Maybe. But a lot of people are screaming absolutely not. We have Bitcoin repeating the late cycle playbook where we have higher highs. We have a breakdown, 38.2% Fibonacci level. And then people think the bottom is the previous bottom right there. I don't think it's that. I think if it's anywhere, it's probably $45,000. But, well, continues further down that level. None your business saying on Bitcoin Monthly, there have been no declines from an all-time high of 38% that did not lead to considerably more downside. This time, if we take a look back here at 2011, 38% fall, continues down. 38% fall, continues down. Over and over again, every time price drops 38%, guess what? There's a lot further to go. Historically, past couple cycles, about 75% drawdown. So again, that would put us towards that $45,000-ish territory. We'll see if we get there. Also, if we take a look here, previous cycle, this one right here, 2021, 2022, copied in orange and posted over the previous cycle. Take a look what happens when we break through these $80,000 levels. Price goes all the way down to this says $60,000, which would make sense because there is a lot of price action in the $60,000 territory. Not only both tops right here, but also this consolidation for like a year right here. So there's going to be a lot of price to move through. Maybe that would cause a bottom. Now, the one argument I have against these charts is, yes, looks like an amazing double top right there. But how come the pi cycle top did not flag? Would this be the first cycle in history that the pi cycle top is just wrong, and some other charts as well? I don't know. We'll kind of know afterwards. But it makes it interesting, doesn't it? Now, the loudest voices are often the scariest ones out there. We are only halfway to final capitulation. The real pain hasn't started yet. This one's saying like $30,000. If we take a look, we have the tops here. We have the bottoms here. A 75% would put us to, I don't know, I'm guessing that's like $30,000. That would suck really bad. I'll be honest. If we go all the way down there, nobody's going to touch Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole and that's the best time to buy it. Now, I personally am waiting for Tour de Meester to post something on Twitter that says, I'm starting to feel like this is the absolute capitulation moment. And he's done that pretty much every cycle. Last time it happened with like the Celsius and all those other collapses. The time before that, it happened towards the very bottom. Basically, when it's a gut-wrenching, that's when it's the absolute bottom. But I'm still not convinced because we have a whole bunch of indicators, which if you stay tuned coming up, we'll be taking a look at some of them as to maybe why, hey, the bottom is in, the top is not in. That could be part of the cycle going on. However, if we are in bear market and if we are looking for a bottom, based on supply at a loss, this is Bitcoin percentage of supply and profit and loss, not enough Bitcoin supply is in a loss to call this a bear market bottom. You can see that generally when these touch, that's when we have bear market bottoms. There's still room for more downside. So all these charts so far look pretty bad. And if you're still with us, thank you so much, because I know that's brutal to kind of get through, but we got to get through that stuff to get to the better charts. Now, Bitcoin follows liquidity, and there's two levels watching where we'll buy bigger chunks. One, $75,000 to $80,000. Worst case, revisiting the 200 EMA at $60,000 to $65,000. So, those things being said, those would be the cycles to keep an eye out for. And based on this chart, Bitcoin has entered the chop zone, the sideways chop zone. How much time do we stay here? No one knows. Last time it took 18 months. Brutal. What is this? Like beginning of 2026, so not till mid to late 2027? Would price go up? Well, it's happened before. Could happen again. But while some call this danger zone, Kenny Loggins, others call it the zone of opportunity. When we have Bitcoin price down here, you can see that when we fall in this short little area, this is the zone of opportunity, because these generally call for Bitcoin bottoms, the best times to accumulate. Could go lower. You can never predict the future, but it's basically on the trend line with all previous cycles. And for those of you wishing you would have bought Bitcoin sooner, like I wish I would have bought Bitcoin in 2015, and definitely I wish I would have, but Bitcoin is the most undervalued against gold since 2015. Go figure. We all know that after gold stops going up, Bitcoin goes up. Right now, Bitcoin versus gold, the most undervalued it's been since 2015, well, could be an excellent buying opportunity, especially when you consider we might be getting wicked off to the downside, which is great, because historically we've been wicked off to the upside, and that's what some of these charts are that we took a look at previously with the double tops and all those things. But it turns out we might actually have a Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation, where you have the Wyckoff events here, and take a look how close Bitcoin price does follow. With the exception of these tops right here, it hits pretty much all the other ones. We have the spring right now at about $80,000 on January 30th, and guess what? This puts Bitcoin price up above $100,000 by February 17th, and then continuing in that direction. So, could the next 2 weeks be incredible for Bitcoin? Well, these next two charts say yes. When we take a look at the business cycle, now, is Bitcoin influenced by the business cycle? Some people will say yes. 15 years of history tell us Bitcoin is about to go parabolic because the business cycle is down pretty much the lowest it gets. And could things turn around here? Let's certainly hope so, because if it is true that we do have one of these bottoms, and again, look at these trend line of bottoms for the business cycle. We have this occurring once again every single time for Bitcoin. This was the inciting moment before an absolutely massive Bitcoin rally. Yes, this is possible, maybe down to $60,000 like we were talking about, but after that, could see an absolutely enormous, life-changing, generational wealth type of rally for Bitcoin coming. We'll kind of have to see. So that's all for this episode. If you enjoyed it, like the video, check out some of our shorts. I will catch you next time. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.